Hi guys.
Hey.
How's it going?
We're good.
Good. All right.
Oh no, Ashan, please. Okay, you know what? Allow me to show you a video that might really inspire you to not open this bottle. Okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we keep it aside.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
So in this video, we're going to explore how the evolution of sugar happened, the history and origins, then the need to ingest it in a balanced rational quantity as opposed to the influence of the industries and their products have on us. Then, with the help of science, its impacts on our mind and body, because sugar is a progressive addiction where consumed on high level can lead to obesity and chronic diseases like diabetes and heart diseases. So, what is sugar? Basically, a sweet crystalline substance obtained from various plants, especially sugarcane and sugar beet, consisting essentially of sucrose and used as a sweetener in food and drink. Such an important food ingredient really deserves a recap of its history. So let's take a look back at its origins. The journey of sugar began way back when sugarcane was first used by a Polynesian man, from where it spread to India. Sugarcane is a grass native to Asia and grows mostly in tropical and subtropical areas. India supported perfect climate for sugarcane plantation. First, they used simple techniques of chewing sugarcane, deriving sweet fluids filled with sucrose, and later around 350 AD, they managed to devise sugar in a more crystallized form. One of the sweetest discoveries of mankind, sadly which was not hidden for a very long time. Which brings us to Western Europe, where sugar was discovered as a result of the Crusades in the 11th century AD. But the history of sugar manufacture changed when in later 18th century, a German scientist, Andreas Markgraf, identified sucrose in beetroot. Now let's talk about the types of sugar.
Now I'm gonna talk about type of sugar. Refined sugar is made from raw sugar that has undergone a refining process. Raw sugar is sucrose made by first extracting sugar juice from sugar beet or sugar cane plants, and from there, many types of sugar can be produced such as white sugar, brown sugar, and liquid sugar. Liquid sugar is white granulated sugar that has been dissolved in water. Liquid sugar is often used in drinks. One of the type of liquid sugar that usually found is corn syrup. Corn syrup is also known as glucose syrup, and it is made from starch of corn.
Now about the daily sugar consumptions. World Health Organization and the UK's official nutrition advisors said that only 5% of your daily calorie intake should consist of added or free sugars, which equals to 30 grams. Children should have no more than 19. Meanwhile, men should consume about 150 calories per day, which equals to 37 grams. Women, 100 calories per day, which equals to 25. Soft drinks tend to contain the highest amount of liquid sugar. A can of soda contains about 130 calories, which is the most of adults' daily sugar consumptions. Making a few adjustments to your diet can help you cut down on unnecessary sugar consumption, which is reducing the sugar you add to hot drinks, avoid low-fat diet foods which tend to be high in sugars, balance your carb intake with lean protein like fish, chicken, and turkey, swap white bread, rice, and pasta for whole grain versions like oats, wholemeal breads, brown rice, and pasta. Reduce the sugar in recipes and add spices to boost up the flavor and taste. Stick to 1 glass of fruit juice a day. And swiping added sugars for natural alternatives. Few tips which can help adults replace added sugar in our diet with healthier alternative. Adding mint leaf, cucumbers, berries, or citrus fruit to plain or sparkling water. Swipe sweets and desserts for fruit, but avoid canned fruit in syrup. Prepare homemade sauces and salad dressings. Stop using sugar in tea and coffee, or reduce the amount. Use herbs and spices instead of sauces that contain added sugar.
Now we're gonna talk about type of sugary drinks and what kind of sugar in it. Regular soft drinks, many fruit juice beverage, and sport drinks are sweetened with added sugars such as sucrose or high fructose corn syrup, while 100% fruit juices only contain natural sugar. So do you know how many teaspoons of sugar is present in one sugary drink? Soda that we found mostly in fast food restaurant or supermarket, fruit-flavored drinks and energy drinks, those have 16 teaspoons of sugar. Sport drinks and vitamin water that people think it's good for your body because it's vitamin drink, which is not, has 9 teaspoons of sugar. While flavored powder drinks has 11 teaspoons of sugar. And last but not least, this one is the most well-known, especially in Asia country, and it is bubble tea. It has unique and various of flavor that makes people love it. But do you know how many teaspoons of sugar in one bubble tea? Surprisingly, it has 20.5 teaspoons of sugar in one drink.
Let's explore how sugar affects our minds and body. Sugar is a delightful foodstuff stimulating the pleasure centers of your brains. Central to the brain sensation of enjoyment is a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that controls the brain's reward and pleasure systems. Rewards are achieved with different substances like heroin, nicotine, alcohol, and yes, sugar. Basically, studies show that sugar has the same effect in the brains, which is the release of dopamine, as street drug users do. Dr. Robert Lustig, a maverick scientist age 62, is a professor whose practices and researches has contributed to exposing sugar industries and what sugar does to our bodies and minds. He has long argued that sugar is poison and that the food industry has been adding too much of it in our meals. High sugar diet is one of the primary problems of diabetes, depression and obesity. So let's talk about that. Dr. Lustig says that problem in obesity is not excess weight. The problem with obesity is that the brain is not seeing the excess weight. The brain can't see it because appetite is determined by a binary system. You're either in the state of, I am not hungry, I can burn energy, or you're in the other state, I am hungry and I want to store energy. Now that flip switch is your leptin level, the hormones that regulate your body fat. But too much insulin in your system blocks the leptin signal. Dr. Fernando Gomez states that the people who experience a sugar crash undergo sudden peaks and drops in blood sugar levels, causing them to experience symptoms like irritability, brain fog, and fatigue. That's because eating a donut or drinking soda causes blood sugar levels to spike upon consumption and then plummet. When the blood sugar inevitably dips back down, people find themselves feeling anxious, moody, or depressed, which is exactly what happens when one undergoes a sugar withdrawal.
Now, let's talk about how sugar impacts the body, causing chronic diseases. Rates of obesity are rising worldwide, and one of the main culprits is thought to be sugar-sweetened beverages. Excessive fructose consumption causes resistance to leptin that leads to the bad impact to the health, which is obesity and other complexity health problem. According to Williams and Frubeck 2009, diabetes are divided into two types, diabetes type 1 and type 2, which is often caused by consuming too much sugar. What's more, prolonged high sugar consumption drives resistance to insulin, a hormone produced by the pancreas that regulates blood sugar levels. Insulin resistance causes blood sugar levels to rise and strongly increases your risk of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is the condition when the body does not make insulin. The immune system attacks and destroys the cells in the pancreas that make insulin. Type 1 diabetes is usually diagnosed in children and young adults. Also, it runs by the genetic and usually it across a blood. Example, father to daughter or mother to son. And type 2 diabetes, caused by dietary and other environmental factors, is a condition in which cells become overwhelmed by insulin and fail to properly respond. The body becomes resistant to insulin. People are more likely to develop type 2 diabetes at the age 45 or older, have a family history of diabetes, or are overweight. Diabetes can lead to amputation. In some cases, diabetes leads to peripheral artery disease, which reduces blood flow to the legs and feet. It causes nerve damage known as peripheral neuropathy, preventing from feeling pain. Due to this, when patients are oblivious to the pain, it can lead to infection and amputation might be their only last resort. The most common amputation in people with diabetes are the toes, feet, and lower legs. Evidence suggests that high sugar diets also affect the blood pressure level, all risk factors for heart disease. The connection between diabetes and heart disease starts with high blood sugar levels. Over time, the high glucose in the bloodstream can damage the arteries, causing them to become stiff. Nearly 2/3 of people with diabetes have high blood pressure. And according to American Diabetes Association, people with diabetes are 2 to 4 times more likely to die of heart disease or have a stroke than people who don't have the condition. As what Shay has mentioned about the bad effect of sugar on cognition and mood indirectly, it is become an essential aspect for the managerial team to look upon. A mood swinger staff in the organization will affect the relationship within the employee and the productivity of the organization, since one people could influence all. As mentioned by Valeria about the balanced daily consumption of sugar for adults, the managerial team in our hospitality industry should raise this awareness to the staff. By doing this, the company can leverage the advantage from healthy employees.
In which country do you think that has highest level of sugar drink consumption? Yes, you are right. It's Argentina.
Based on Euromonitor report, Argentina ranked first globally in consumption of sugary beverage at 154 liters per capita in 2016, representing roughly 14 kilos of sugar per capita. Sources estimate that roughly 25% of sugar is sold in 1 kilo bags at retail outlets and to the food and beverage industry. To reduce the consumption of sugary drinks, Argentina government has implemented a regulation. It is restriction to the advertising and promotion of unhealthy food and drinks. And also, Argentina Health Ministry introduced the National Plan for Healthy Diet and Prevention of Obesity in 2016. Specific policy outlined in the plan include reaching industry-wide agreements to reduce sugar and sodium levels in processed food, promoting healthy diets, and more physical activity in school. Not only in Argentina, these countries have already implemented taxes on sugary drinks, including Hungary, France, several states in the United States, and Mexico, where a peso per liter, approximately 10% tax on sugary beverage is projected to decrease consumption by 10 up to 12%. Not only those countries that I mentioned before, however, the Irish government is introducing a tax at a rate of 30 cents per liter. And last but not least, most recently April 2018, the UK government has applied two-tier levy. Companies producing or importing soft drinks with significant added sugar have to pay one level of tax for drinks containing at least 5 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters and a higher level of tax rate for those with more than 8 grams per 100 milliliters.
So to conclude, the problem isn't a knowledge deficit. There isn't a fat person who doesn't know that vegetables are good for you, or a diabetic who should fight their impulse to cravings. Education has not solved any substance of abuse. This is a substance of abuse. Henceforth, we need laws. In Switzerland, the Swiss food industries have agreed to further cut sugar in yogurts and breakfast cereals, a policy to be continued until 2024. And the Economics Ministry has mandated a research project on the health risks of sugar. This is due to the high number of obese people have more than doubled in the past 35 years. Even Nestle, a multinational food and drink company, has committed to a reduction of sugar in their products by 5% by 2020 to help people live a healthier life. An initiative all countries must take upon, and marketers selling their products to do it the ethical way. Thank you.
Okay. This video is really educational. You girls should spread the video and make it go viral to create awareness.
Good job.
Thanks God!
A few moments later.
These girls are so dramatic.